this is how I imagine a real war between China and the United States would break out. Now, we're collateral, we're bit players, and I don't believe that in the first instance China's going to send 500 ships to invade us. That would make them so vulnerable to the Americans who couldn't resist whacking them. And we aren't the main game. We're not the main game. America is the main game. So this is what I think is likely to happen. We're in the midst of grey zone conflict now. We all know about grey zone conflict. That lies between normal competition and war. And we see that almost every day. 14 demands on us, bribing politicians, attacking institutions, wolf diplomacy, etc., all of those kind of things. So that's going on at the moment. We could move up to enhanced grey zone conflict. And that enhanced grey zone conflict would have unattributable massive attacks in space, in cyber, and other things like that the Chinese can do now and can think of. And this is what we Australians must look at and must analyse our own defence capability against. But the third thing that I always look at is a war between China and the United States, where the objective is to drive the United States out of the Western Pacific, and the mechanism is Taiwan. So the first thing that would happen would be massive attacks in space, and the Chinese are more than capable of doing that. Massive cyber attacks, and we haven't seen a full national cyber attack out of a country like Russia or China yet. We've seen people playing around the edges. That would cost us incredibly. At the same time,
can you just illustrate what a really serious cyber attack might look like? Because that's chilling. Sorry to interrupt, but I just think
good. I'm not too sure myself, and I've asked to be briefed exactly on this, but I haven't got the briefings yet. I imagine that if people were serious about, if a nation was serious about achieving a cyber attack, it could close down it could close down just about everything that had a chip in it. The movement of all our food, every pipeline system in Australia, every gas pipeline, every fuel pipeline, our ports, our banking system, and if you can do that, you can gain yourself days in a country. So if you attack the American, all of these things in America, at the same time as you're wiping out space capability, and maybe even using biological, unattributable biological warfare, which kind of we're in at the moment, then you can give yourself hours, days, or maybe even weeks where your adversary will not come back at you. I hope to know much more about a massive cyber attack after the briefings I've been promised. So, John, going on from there, having done that, and you can do that in a night. Having done that, the Chinese would be fools to leave on Anderson Air Force Base on Guam hundreds and hundreds of brilliant American aeroplanes that are just waiting there to attack China. They would be fools to live on Diego Garcia, bombers that can fly from Diego Garcia to attack bases, or from the Okinawa bases or the Japanese bases. And without being silly about it, the Chinese have more than the capability. They are the best in the world at rocketry and missiles. And when you overlay the strategic geography of the first and the second island chain with the range of Chinese rocketry, and you look at the numbers of rockets and cruise missiles they have, then you can see that if they choose the time and place, they can wipe every bit of American power in Japan, in Korea, in Guam, and in anywhere else. And that's just about it at the moment. Let's not go as far as Pearl Harbor, and maybe also in Diego Garcia and maybe in Darwin. If they did that in the first day or so, which is the equivalent of the attack on Pearl Harbor, if they did that in the first day or so, and then they moved their small groups of people out into the Philippines to prevent an American fleet when it comes together coming through the Philippines, and you can do that with small land deployed anti-ship missiles, then you have created a situation where they've destroyed American power in the Western Pacific, they have fortified the first island chain, then they can take Taiwan at any time that they like. Now, if you reverse that and take Taiwan first and you're concentrating on Taiwan, the Americans might do something to you. I can see no military logic in that, and the Chinese are not stupid.